It is that time now once again, for getting lumped up with my friends. It's RockerMike and Rob that you should know, and you'll find them here on the Rock Show. Ooh, yeah, on the Rock Show.
Hey, what's up?
Okay.
Hello, people, and welcome to another fantastic episode of the Rock Show. And we have our guest, Phil.
Fred Perry Fair, who's back.
He's back. He's back for another show. Can you believe that? He's here. He's live and in living color. He's looking good. He's looking well.
Thank you.
He got some color in his face now. And he looks like a man with that beard.
Yeah, looking good.
I'm a sweet.
And he got hair. I thought you were bald all this time.
No, he's a suede head now.
Anyways, let's.
He got nice hair. Look at that. He can comb it. It's combing mode. So this is episode 120, and what are we talking about?
We are talking about the Slits,
which is to me the most important punk band in history. But whatever.
Okay, well we'll talk about why that is. Now the Slits, in case you haven't heard of them, they were a all-girl punk band starting in England. The lineup of the Slits was Ari Up on lead vocals. You had Palmolive, you had Viv Albertine, and Tessa Pollitt. Okay. They were popular in England. They supported the Clash on tour.
Yes, they did.
There was the 77 White Riot tour. They also played with the Buzzcocks. They played shows with Subway Sect, which is a very underrated band.
Underrated band.
Yeah. And really, like, my favorite Slits stuff that I could recall, probably the first time I ever heard of them, was the punk rock movie directed by Don Letts. There's a lot of great footage.
Well, Don Letts is a great director, man.
Don Letts managed the
yes. He did manage them for a while.
And they toured with the Clash, and they were way more. For me, like if you look at Ari Up, she was way more influenced by the reggae culture that was introduced to England.
I think she's the first woman with dreadlocks I ever saw. White woman with dreadlocks.
These girls came almost about the same time as the Runaway, right? Because the Runaways were in 1975.
No, this was like 76.
So, I mean, they're almost in the timeline.
It was part of the English punk.
Do you think somebody saw the Runaways and said, let's do a English version of that, and they put these girls together?
No, I think Ari saw what was going on with punk, and then she just wanted to be part of that.
Well, very easily, because it had to be that, because her mother, Laura,
who was
married to Johnny Rotten.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was a lot older than Johnny.
Yeah.
So she was about 14
or
so.
Ari was 14. Ari was 14 when she started this.
Yeah. So she was influenced by the punk scene. Joe Strummer used to come over and hang out.
I think that the Slits were the one who introduced this Jamaican culture, because she actually had the dreads, and if you look at like videos of them before, like opening up for fucking the Clash, and you see like videos of her with like Suzy and the Banshees. I mean, Budgie was drummer.
Budgie, who would be in Suzy.
Yeah, so like, but like, no, I the Slits. I did Tessa Pollitt, who I think Tessa Pollitt and Viv Albertine are like the greatest.
And
musicians.
You can't forget to mention that you're talking about an all-girl band.
Yeah,
and at that time, that was very.
It was very uncommon.
Very rare.
I mean, like, look at the Bells. Like I was talking about.
Yeah,
they were like fucking self-taught.
Yep.
I mean, that's rock and roll, American rock and roll. And you see like the Slits, and you see like people like Jordan. You see people like Sue Catwoman. I mean, they were there for the photos. The Slits were there for music.
Yeah,
and
they were originals. They were, especially when they went in more of a dub reggae.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Originally they were more like punk rock.
It was
what you expect.
Well, it was Don Letts. So like
Don Letts' influence.
He's great. Man.
Yeah. Well, Don Letts was their manager. Don Letts encouraged them, and I think like the influence of the reggae, punky reggae, into like if you listen to like Cut, that is like a fucking amazing from beginning to end. And then their John Peel, which I think is the best.
John Peel stuff.
It's the best John Peel.
That was the very first John
Peel
stuff I ever heard.
That is the best John Peel you ever hear, because
they did.
They know what they knew. Well, first off, they knew what to do.
Yeah.
And if you listen to Tessa Pollitt, listen to Ari, who it was the.
John Pierce knew already. He knew what to put out there because he
Yeah,
was like
well,
a
he was
fortune
doing it for
teller.
years.
Yeah.
But no, like I honestly, in my behalf, I'm sorry, Rocker Mike, I think that the Slits John Peel session is the best session that ever came the fuck out because you can't even find it. It's so
all that stuff's been re-released.
It's so underrated. Yeah. No, it's underrated. But like you listen to like what they're doing. Palmolive with the band started the Raincoats, but you had fucking before Bungie. I mean, oh my god! I mean, they were so good. And when you watch like when they're opening up for the Clash, the Clash apparently introducing the reggae note that lets it, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, when they brought Let's on as the manager, I think it definitely influenced their creativeness.
Yes, it did.
And also
and the Rasta culture.
It opened the whole Rasta culture to Ari specifically, who would become
Medusa,
a Rastafarian later on.
Don Les was more like a producer, right?
He was
first
of all, he was a DJ.
He is a jack of all trades.
He was a DJ. He was he worked the Roxy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how reggae came
because we talked about him a few times about that.
Right. I mean, what happened was he was a DJ at the Roxy and the 100 Club.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah. He introduced punk to.
He would DJ there
reggae to the
and play, and all he played was reggae records.
Yeah, there was other.
And it turned the kids that already weren't into reggae into reggae.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, guys like the Clash and stuff were already into it, but some of maybe the younger kids.
No, I feel like
not.
I feel like the Slits were like the ones who they're very underrated, and I think when I met Ari, like the year before she died, Jesus, like the Steppers, oh my god, like it was so good, and like her
the New Age
Steppers, the New Age Steppers, oh my god, that's reggae.
Yeah,
I honestly think that they are like one of those bands that should be appreciated, even more underrated. But Cut is such a great.
Well, Cut has the famous song "Typical Girls,"
on it, which is like I think what encouraged bands like Polystyrene did with the X-Ray Specs. I think that's what started with the whole the Riot Girl movement. I mean, they were trying to do what they were doing, but they did with the American kind of like, which like I hate to bring up politics, but they were trying to do with the. It's a feminist movement, but Ari Up, she was just fucking amazing. 14 years old,
way ahead of her time, and
and then
she wore outlandish clothes.
Yeah,
she made her own shit.
Well, she believed in the Jamaican culture.
Yeah,
which it's like in America we brought in Hare Krishna. But like she actually brought it like.
So was she a Rastafarian?
She became one.
She became one
later on.
Yeah. But she moved to Bushwick.
All right.
And I remember that because she was called Medusa, but like
because of her hair.
Yeah, her hair.
She had like long dreads.
But you listen to like Palmolive, who left the Raincoats. You listen to like Tessa, who I think is still the most underrated bass player.
Yeah.
And I think she's a woman. You listen to like oh my god.
Well, one of their greatest songs is a cover. I think, and I heard it through the grapevine.
It's actually one of the greatest covers I've ever heard.
That version of that song is probably, to me, it's on par with the original.
The first time I heard that, it was
the bass line on that.
It was Tessa Pollitt.
Yeah,
I was 14.
It's like a fuzzy bass. Amazing.
I was a kid listening to this. Like, this is like one of the greatest punk bands, and they're all females. And I think that the Slits totally deserve more credit that they should do, just like the Bells, who came from like New York City.
I think what they suffered from was a lack of like
discrimination for being a female.
That they couldn't get a lot of gigs,
and Tessa and Ari was
there was problems within the band.
Yeah, there was.
Ari, I think, was a little difficult to work with. I don't know. That's the impression I get. Maybe the rest were difficult to work with her. I don't know.
When I met her,
we found some difficult people to work with.
No, but like one of my favorite stories at Ari Up, you sent me the text, which I saw, is Ari Up. The first time she met Patti Smith, was like, "Get the Slits out of here! Get the Slits out of here!" It's like they're 14 years old.
You're gonna throw these kids out,
and you're throwing them out of your fucking. They came here to America.
Why did she do that?
Because it's Patti Smith.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares? She's like so overrated.
But like, no,
I hate Patti Smith.
I actually don't like.
I'm gonna tell you, Stu, I fucking hate her.
I've seen Patti Smith a lot.
I think,
but the Slits.
She's
honestly,
a fucking has-been. That's a whiny baby.
I think the Slits should
a woman that
really
got a voice. Fuck her.
Appreciated, and as a female punk band, I mean, they're up there with the Bells, which was to me the first like recorded female band.
Mm-hmm.
But Ari Up was 14 years old, and what you did for to me, I mean, when you record, she changed my view. Like Nico, Suzy and the Banshees. I mean, that changed everything for me, and I feel the Slits are very underrated. And then, like I said, like to me, the best John Peel was the Slits.
I'll agree, and it was the very first Peel sessions that I ever heard.
It's fucking amazing.
And, you know, way back in the early '80s, I heard it. Let's talk about Cut. Okay?
All right, Cut. Let's talk about
First
Cut.
of all, that was their debut album.
1978.
Came out
1978.
Released in '79. They recorded it in
78,
'78, and it came out on Island Records.
Yep.
It was produced by Dennis Bovell, who was a guy from Barbados. He was a reggae musician, very popular in the reggae community. And the cover, we'll talk about the cover of the album.
She was 14, 15.
They were all young. They were all 14, 15, 16 years old, but they were like naked on this cover.
Covered in mud.
Covered in mud. It was the only thing that was showing.
I mean, only think about it, Bow Wow Wow. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
know,
and Malcolm McLaren was behind all that.
Dude, did they change the album cover now? Because the 14-year-old.
No, it's still there like that.
It's in a cancer.
They don't look 14.
No,
let's put it that way. But they are.
It's the members of the Slits.
But you know what? Now
and
we just put it out there.
That album,
it's a consequence.
When you listen to that album, it's
child pornography.
Completely different for what was going on with like the whole punk influence in England. I mean, you had like Tessa, who's from Germany. I mean Ari, from Germany, whose mother was like whatever. But then like you had the introduction to Don Letts, who brought reggae music to the punk scene. But like that album, from beginning to end, it's just such a like not even experimental album. It's just for people, not even women, but like for people said, let's do this, let's do this. But the drummer did pay. He did a lot, but Jesus Christ.
Well, Budgie, who would go on to be in Suzy the Banshees later on, he was well respected in the punk community as a good drummer. So he was brought in, so they weren't four girls anymore at that point.
Right.
But once he came in, that's pretty much when the style changed from straight ahead punk to dub reggae influence. Don Letts' influence on that.
I mean, if you watch even the videos of like which I have,
I've seen
them open up for the Clash, and it's straight up reggae. I mean, they have Jamaican English Morenos
take on it.
That they're introducing like we're rich, which unfortunately we're Ari, which if I were the record, if I were a daughter, Ari Up. But anyways, you just listen to that influence of what they got, and everybody thought the Clash introduced reggae. No, it was the Slits.
It was the Slits.
It was the Slits.
It was the Slits. The Clash only had a couple of.
It was Don Letts who saw what Ari was very influenced by, which was colored music, and they just fucking blew it apart, dude.
Yeah, I mean, and did they? I'm trying to think. Couple of singles early on.
They did.
They did.
We've
never done a Don Letts
show. The last time I saw the Slits,
mentioned them.
I saw the Slits in 2010, and I was very fortunate to meet Ari Up. And I told her how much she meant to me, and she died.
Yeah, I know she died
the next year. Yeah. And then I met Tessa Pollitt. I was like, you are the reason why I want to pick up the bass. But like Ari Up, like she was great.
Right.
And I feel like I feel like as far as like punk still is like a freedom movement. Like we can do what we want. What about the women?
It's kind of frowned upon, right?
Yeah,
it's
like
kind of still like not recognized.
They were the ones who said, "Fuck you, we're women. We can do what we want." Seeing a 14-year-old,
I could do a
seeing a 14-year-old girl.
I could do 2 months
with
rock shows
with panties saying "fuck you."
Yeah, I mean,
that's where like for example, polystyrene. who we lost, but
she was 15 years old in X-ray specs,
and she
with braces.
She taught us.
Dude, it's funny. They don't even got the cover here.
Oh, they cut it out.
That's the cover.
That's the last cover. When the Slits did their last album.
Wow.
But
yeah,
no, like if it wasn't for the Slits, I mean,
no, but that's the cover they got for cuts. So that means they didn't want to put the girl.
Oh, the nude one.
Yeah.
But they're covered in love. But you know what, dude? Fuck yourself. I mean, they were rebellious teenagers.
Look what they called themselves. The Slits.
Yeah.
but for me, it's like if it wasn't for them, especially in an alternative subculture that was male dominated, there would have been Bikini Kill, who I love. I mean, they inspired fucking the X-Ray Specs, just like the select. Yeah, that's the one. That's the cover. There's Tessa. There's Ari.
Okay.
I mean, that whole album is just like
it's
not even punk. It's just music.
No, it's almost like world music.
It's cultural music.
Yeah,
censor.
It's cultural music, which was punk was like what they were trying to follow from the Clash, from Joe Strummer, who was a big part. Even Don Letts, who fucking discovered them.
Well, really, you talk about the Clash fail. It was Paul Simonon that
Paul
really
Simonon
was the reggae guy.
He was a skinhead too.
Yeah. And he grew up in Brixton with all the Jamaicans.
Yeah. But it really was if you watch interviews, it was Johnny Rotten's interview.
Johnny Rotten was a big reggae guy.
Yeah.
So she was getting that at home.
Yeah.
With Johnny was with his mom.
Yeah. But they did fucking. Everything doesn't make sense. Sid is only curious. That's about Sid Vicious. Come on. Yeah. But the Slits to me are the female-fronted punk band, just like the Bells, just like the Shangri-Las. They deserve a lot of credit to what's going on now.
Yeah.
You have bands like Bikini Kill, who I love, who obviously were inspired by the X-Ray Specs, by Polystyrene.
Very much.
And I love, and the Beastie Boy connection. Yeah. You have L7. You have
Babes in Toyland.
Right. I mean, it was the Slits.
Yeah.
And let's be real. Yeah. They were the first female.
And they don't really get the recognition they deserve.
They don't. And I think it's bullshit because they did not give a fuck. And
I think what
and when you watch the videos of Palmolive and all that, and you see Tessa Pollitt playing, and you see Ari Up being 14 years old, jumping up and down, did not give a fuck.
I think once Cut was done, okay, it took a while, a few more years for them to get a second album out later in the 80s. And then by then they were done. The thing was, Ari Up was more into the reggae. Yeah, she wanted to branch out.
Yeah, and she moved to New York City. She moved. Actually, people don't even know this. Johnny Rotten and Ari Up moved to New York City in the 80s.
Early 80s, yeah.
She was at Flatbush when she did Medusa.
Yeah.
Johnny Rotten lived on Canal by Pearl, by where I lived. Mm-hmm. They moved here because of the reggae scene, and which is for them. I mean, he did go to the old country, but Ari Up moved here.
We talked about almost 2 years ago. We had an episode where we talked about reggae influences.
Yeah, but no.
And John Lydon, Johnny Rotten,
went
after the Sex Pistols. He went to Jamaica for 6 months to sign bands. He was only supposed to be there for a month.
Yeah, he signed up.
He signed up everybody. Okay, and it was all for Frontline Records.
But it should have been Ari Up. So what what makes me upset?
Well, they had something.
What makes me upset is everyone's oh, if it wasn't for Don Letts or the Clash, Don Letts discovered them. The Clash did not go up to him to make a record.
No,
they did it on themselves. And if you listen to that, to oh my God, it's one of the best records of that genre because it wasn't trying to be a copycat of what the Clash, the Sex Pistols, they wanted to be original.
They wanted to be the real thing.
And then when you hear,
then
when you hear their last album, which unfortunately, Ari Up, I miss you. I'm so glad I fucking got to hang out with you. That is fucking reggae, and it's not even just reggae. It's I'm accepting you into our subculture.
Yeah.
And it's just so good. And she was a Rasti, and I'm glad that her son still is following what she's doing. But the Slits are the punk band as far as females before X-Ray Specs, before Bikini Kill, before L7, before Hole, like I said, the Bells, who were an all-female garage band. I mean, Ari.
But there had a lot of changes in the group too. Because was there a lot of
No,
was there a lot of
no. They got rid of Palm. They got rid of Palmolive.
I mean,
and they got guys.
When they reformed it was Ari Up and Tessa.
Yeah, it was Tessa Pollitt and it was Cookie Monster.
Yeah.
You know, but like that was like
Cookie Monster being Paul Cook from the Sex Pistols' daughter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
she played.
I mean, it was like these original cats from the English punk movement that were influenced.
Was there inside fighting? Did that group have a little inside fighting?
Yeah, they did. It was like the whole Bromley contingent and all that. But like the Slits, I mean, they were just fucking. What I would have, I mean, I'm so lucky. I feel blessed that I saw them live.
Yeah.
Have her sign my T-shirt, Tessa Pollitt. I remember walking the fucking Center Street with fucking Ari, but like that was like a band. And was it like, you don't have to be punk or anything. It was just, they were the first ones. And it's fucking dope, you know.
And you got me on this one because I never saw him.
Yeah, I did twice.
Yeah. And I remember when they came back, and I was gonna go, and I didn't go, and I regret it.
And she respected.
She was gone by 20.
No, she respected the fact that, like, you know, me and my ex, but the Cassie attitude, we were like the skinheads who showed up, and we were the ones who were like reggae and all that.
Yeah.
But like fucking Don Letts was the one who discovered them. It's like, oh my god, it was just.
Well, he mentored them.
Yeah, he did.
He taught them a lot of things, especially.
But like, if you look, like, I honestly think that the best John Peel is the Slits.
Let me ask
you
a question. What were some of the songs from the first album that were good?
Typical Girls.
Do a Runner. Do a Runner.
Well, I heard it through a grapevine was a single, but it wasn't on the album at the time.
The first track is great, which is like, he is a boy.
Yeah.
But like, that's like, listen to Ari being 14 years old, and then listen to the fucking Viv Albertine.
What's the track list? What's the first song called?
It's Instant Hit.
Instant hit.
So tough. Spend. Shoplifting.
Spend was like the greatest.
FM.
What's the song about shoplifting?
It's called
Do a Runner.
Do a Runner.
Do a Runner.
But it's
like,
called
no, like when you listen to Spend, that is reggae. That is like
Then you have Newtown.
Newtown.
Pink Pine Affair. Love and Romance. Typical Girls.
No, the Typical Girls was like.
And
there's a video for
that.
Yeah, there is.
Cool.
They're in a gazebo, but it's like
that
is.
And then
like,
the bonus track was Heard It Through the Grapevine.
Yeah, that was done as a single. It wasn't on the album originally, but then
but Ari Up, you know what she was doing, and it sucks that we lost her.
Yeah.
But I want her to relive.
One thing you gotta say is, you know, she was a devout Rasta.
Yeah, she was. She was a Rasta,
and she didn't get. She was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yeah, I know.
She tried to cure herself. You know, naturally.
No, I remember she died. It was 2011. It's just like Jesus. It's like, and then we lost polystyrene like the next year. It's like if you look at this, these were like heads of what is, I feel like, the women's right as far as music before the Riot Girl movement. I mean, they knew what they were doing.
It was totally influenced by them.
Ari Up is one of the main reasons why I feel that as a feminist, that we have these bands, like, we can do this. Like, it doesn't matter if you have a penis or vagina. It doesn't matter. It's punk.
Yeah.
It's freedom.
Well, they were about that. Definitely about freedom. I mean, look, they call themselves the Slits. They really didn't give a shit what anybody thought.
So these guys only took out 2 albums. The Return of the Giant Slit. What can you say about that?
That's
it's an EP.
Yeah. But they have a lot of their live albums are great too. Yeah, I mean, dude, they're Desmond Decker.
Yeah.
Cover. I mean,
this stuff is
Dennis Brown.
Their stuff is hard to find.
That is fucking great.
Their stuff is hard to find. Somebody needs to put like a box set together or something of them. You know,
for
like
the Slits,
really the Slits, because it's
like,
not like it's a lot of material.
The first time I saw them, they did Man Next Door, and it was like the Slits cover. And then when you listen to what like Albertine was doing with the guitar, it is so good.
They went to Japan in 2007 when they had reformed. Okay, with the Ari Up and Tessa Pollitt lineup. They'd never been there before. That was the first time even the original band
they must have loved them
and they loved the shit.
Oh god, Alien Sex Fiend. Alien's sexy, but like, dude, when you listen to like that cover of that Dennis Brown song, it's like, dude, that's reggae.
Yeah.
That's Don Letts. That's Rasta. That's the introduction to this.
Well, they have three. The third full album was called Trapped Animal, okay, and it was released in 2009.
But the original. The
original only. I mean, Cut was the original lineup.
No, Cut is like the infamous.
Yeah.
The infamous album,
which
I own.
There's
by
the
way,
Return of the
vinyl.
Slits after that.
Yeah, which is like, but like, which I.
And Revenge of the Killer Slits.
No, but like, listen to the Peel sections. Listen to that. That is like rough reggae, punk rock
mixed together.
It is so fucking good.
Yeah, and nobody was doing that.
Fucking dope. It's almost hip hop if you listen to it.
It could be.
But like, that is like the best. Even John Peel said this is the best band that fucking did this.
Yep. So anyway, I want to thank Feo for coming on. Okay, again, thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Mike.
And Rob, what do you think? You a fan of the Slits now? Or what?
Yeah, I'm a fan of that cover.
Great cover. So where can we find you, Mr. Feo?
Oh, so you guys can find me on Instagram as Feo NYC, the Dapper Tramp, and you can email me feonyc@gmail.com. I do poetry, photos, and now I'm starting doing music reviews. So I'm glad that you brought me for the Slits.
And you will see him soon in Chippendales.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
Very dapper.
I'm gonna shake my wee wee, but like, no, here's to Jerry, my best friend, and he actually knew Ari Up.
Yes, he did.
And we just had another person want to do a little bit of Father John.
Father John. You know, famous. We did security, and everybody knew
Father
him.
John. But like, it's just whatever. Thank you guys.
You're welcome.
The Lumped Up Nation.
You're welcome.
And
Rob, where can we find you?
Once again, you can find me on anything Getting Lumped Up. You will just go on Google and put Getting Lumped Up, and you see all the thing pops up. Guys, if you like the show, support the show by buying a T-shirt at ProWrestlingTees.com/Getting Lumped Up. Some great T-shirt. The newest T-shirt is Face Stopper 2021.
Right.
Face diaper. Like everybody got the face diaper.
Hopefully we won't be wearing them much longer.
Hopefully by 2022.
If you're looking for me, I'm Rocker Mike. You can find me on Instagram, RockerMike212. You can find me on Clout Hub under Rocker Mike. You can find me on Parler under Rocker Mike. You can find me on MeWe under Rocker Mike, and you can find me on Facebook under Michael Baker. And me and Rob also run the Rockshow podcast group page. Join up.
Which is 500 members strong.
Over 500. Good. Doing pretty good. Everybody puts in a good, couple of songs every day. And what do we always say?
Wait up. And before we go, I got to thank the people. So the YouTube channel has just reached 1,500 members. Our rise to 2,000 begins.
Yep.
From 2,000, we're hoping to get that 5,000 subscribers. So then we'll be making a lot more
money.
Money to support the show. Yeah. And
bills over here.
And people will also on Patreon. Look on Patreon, Getting Lumped Up. And for $2 or $1, you can get a few shows.
We're talking about doing some special stuff possibly, too. We got to talk about that.
Pretty soon, Patreon. Yeah. We're going to do a few shows that just straight to Patreon. That if you want to do it, check it out. And you're not going to find them anywhere else. And I think that's coming soon. I got a guy now doing the website, the Patreon, Rolando. He's going to be doing some stuff. And we'll be doing extra shows, like special shows, or even like extra bonus after a show.
Right. Excellent. After show.
After show.
Okay. So remember, folks, don't get drunk.
Get lumped up.
We'll see you next week.
Take care, people.
Sláinte.